Welcome to episode 8 on Bad Decisions with Jazz. Happy to have you guys back on episode 8. This is crazy. I can't believe this. If you follow me on any kind of social media, then you know that I am actually not home. I'm actually in Florida helping Sugar Daddy do his thing, basically, because that's where he's from, like I mentioned in my previous episode. Wednesdays we wear pink, so hell yeah. And you know that I definitely brought a pink outfit to wear out there because I'm just like, it's Wednesday, I gotta rep my shit. I gotta, swear by the mantra that we live by here, right? Because we're mean girls. Just kidding. Obviously, it's a mean girl reference. You get it. What are we talking about today in episode 8? Because, let's jump into it, right? Thirst traps. That's what we're talking about. What the fuck is a thirst trap? What is a thirst trap? It is basically an image that makes people stop scrolling for a second and be like, damn, that's yummy. I want to put my tongue on that. Usually it's half naked men, half naked women, and it's just like, oof. Usually it's really a provocative image that creates some form of lust for people. That's what it is. If you follow me on my Instagram, then you know that my profile is literally filled with thirst traps. I really wouldn't say that they're thirst traps though. It's just they get the angle, you know what I mean? And my best friend tells me all the time, Jazz, you be posting them thirst traps and you know that you do, but you do it anyways. And he's telling me I'm not gonna like your thirst traps. I avoid that shit at all costs. But I'm just look, if the man in my life supports me, then literally that's all that matters, right? If the people around me support me in my effort to want to post whatever I want to post, then really that's all that matters. So I'm not sweating it or anything like that. And I feel like people should just mind their own. If I want to post half naked pictures, then I fucking will. That means I'm confident in my body, which leads me to my next question. Is it for attention? So honestly, yeah, it could be for attention, a slightly, I would say. I mean, I might be shallow for saying this, but I do like the attention. I don't necessarily like it when guys slide into my DMs, but I definitely think it's nice to know that I'm acknowledged, even if it only lasts a little bit, even if only it's the next day, that's it, the clout from it is gone. But I do like seeing when I post something on my story and people go back to my profile because I can check the stats of that and just to check out my pictures and check out my profile. I do like it. I do love it when people comment. It just makes me feel like I made a connection, even if it's really small. It just feels like, oh my goodness, this person really appreciates that. And yeah, most likely it's a dude putting fucking heart eyes and emojis on there, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's okay, he thinks I'm pretty, it's definitely a self-esteem booster, and I like that. So I don't necessarily think it's for attention. I think it's just confidence, and there's nothing wrong with confidence, overconfidence, there's a problem, but confidence in general, no, I don't think so. If you're posting every day and it's not your job to do that, and they're literally all half naked pictures, there's nothing else but half naked pictures, then I feel you might as well just create an OnlyFans, right, and actually get paid for it. But personal opinion, personal perspective. So why do people even post thirst traps? So I think that just goes back to what I was saying, that it's really just a confidence type of post. Oh, I'm really feeling myself in this photo. Hold up a second. I just want to post this real quick. So I think that's really what it is, and that's also what the objective of posting a thirst trap is. It really is about confidence. Now, there are obviously the cons. There's always pros and cons to things, and there's definitely cons to posting thirst traps. It's the type of attention that you get. It's your reputation in general. Obviously there's negative effects on it. What are those negative effects that thirst traps can have on a person and for people around them? So I have definitely been in situations where thirst trap photos could ruin a really good connection that I have with somebody else. So yeah, we're close and everything like that, but once it comes to light that I post thirst traps and I'm definitely that kind of confident, I feel like it might make men a little bit insecure because they tend to find women who are super confident with themselves very intimidating. So I think that it could be something that they're intimidated, basically. Your reputation is really what you make of it on social media. So, if you're posting half naked pictures on there, then just know that's kind of what people are going to expect from you. But that's not necessarily strictly it, there's no really expectations when it comes to social media other than make it a nice picture when you post one. I feel like that's a good expectation. That's what's gonna get you likes. If it's a good picture, people are gonna like it. But if it's not a good picture, then they're not gonna like it, obviously. If you want to be perceived as sexy, then obviously do your thing, but at the end of the day, just know that people are also going to perceive you as sexy. And like most of the time, I feel like from experience, guys have really only wanted me for my body because they don't take the time to get to know me. I feel like that's why I said yes to sugar daddy and him being my boyfriend, because he got to know me and like was in my heart before he really got to know my body. Kudos to men like that. You are not a simp. Just want to put that out there. You are not a simp. And I'm getting like all riled up. Okay, I'll relax. What other negative effects could it have on you personally? It could be the kind of attention, like I mentioned earlier, that thirst traps bring. It's not always the good kind, actually. Like obviously there's good and bad of just about everything out there, but it's not always the good kind. Like most of the time, the people who like that kind of clout are usually people who won't push you to the finish line that you need to get to. So I feel like more of my following scale, and there's nothing wrong with this, but more of my following scale is personally people who like my thirst traps, right? So I feel like a lot of them may not listen to my podcast because they really don't care about getting to know me. They kind of just care about, ooh, what kind of sexy pictures is she gonna post next, you know? And that could be really detrimental on someone because you feel like you have all this support on your social media, but you really don't. I don't know. That's a personal perspective. Obviously, drop your perspective to me. I always want to know it. Basically, they're just the people to put emojis on your half-naked pictures. And again, this is not everyone. Like, not everyone is like this. With exceptions to, like, best friends, obviously, because they're going to comment. Your best friend should always support you no matter what. But the genuine people who really like to see you thrive are not the thirst trap likers, if that makes any sense. They're usually the ones that want to only see you take your clothes off, and they just don't want to see you thrive, you know? The genuine people are the people who also like your photos and want to see you thrive. So another negative effect that could potentially impact your personal image is sometimes the image that you've portrayed for yourself could literally be exhausting. So I think it's really important for people to know that your social media image is not at all your image in real life. Social media will never, ever, ever get you being completely you, sitting on the couch, eating popcorn, looking real fat, having so much Coke or, you know, soda or pop or whatever you want to call it, or, you know, just you completely relaxing with your hair in a bun and sweatpants on, no makeup on, acne all over your face. Like, social media will never really get that. It does get confused often with, okay, this is how this person is. There's so much more to a person than just their social media. Like, let's be real. Your social media is just an inch of you. It's 1 ounce of you. It's 1% of you. It's nothing huge. Even for influencers, like, that have to be on social media constantly, I don't think that it really depicts them accurately for who they are. So that could be the negative effects. And then you're always trying to post these pictures to keep up with that stigma, to keep up with that image that you've already created. And it could just really be exhausting. You could be like, who am I? You could really lose yourself in that. You know, you just get lost with the fact that somebody who posts an eggplant emoji on your social media are the people that you want to keep around or something. That's not the case at all. It's that pressure for you to always act and behave one way. You know, it's not always going to be like that. I feel like once you get into the habit of putting your social media in one like compartment, like so compartmentalizing, if you put it in one compartment and then put yourself in a whole other one, like yourself has so many other folders within folders. Like, there's just so much about you, like, if you really want to get technical. So they're really two different versions of you, and sometimes people really do forget that. Like, just because she's posting pretty pictures doesn't mean that she's secure. You know, it doesn't mean that she's necessarily not going through battles, okay? Just because her social media always makes it look like she's happy and she's living the life does not mean that that's her. Like, there could be legitimate internal struggles that she's going through, but I feel like at that point it's an image. Like, if you can't take a step back and see what's going on with you personally and you're just trying to keep up with this image, you're gonna get lost in it and you're gonna completely forget who you are. And for me personally, that's not why I'm making this podcast or these YouTube videos. For me, this is me discovering myself and seeing my true potential. How do you avoid a thirst trap? Like, let's talk about that for a second. So obviously, if you go on someone's profile and you see a few, bikini pics or something like that, and they're kind of hot, they're kind of scandalous, they're kind of out there, but they're nothing crazy. I don't think that's a thirst trap. I think that's just a girl being her, and I just think that's a guy being a guy, or a boy being a boy and a girl, and yeah, a woman being a woman. You get the point, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a thirst trap. Now, if you're on Tinder or something, or on Bumble or something, and obviously like the first picture that comes up is literally her in like lingerie, then she's promoting her OnlyFans, honey. That is how you avoid a thirst trap, because she's really not in it for you. She's probably in it for the money, and like, you gotta get your money some way. You gotta get your money up some way. Another way to avoid it, obviously once you meet somebody and you've been talking for a while, and then it finally comes to that point where it's like, okay, we've been texting for a while, we've been going out together for a while, how about we add each other on social media? And then you start seeing her social media and what she's like at that point, then it's a thirst trap. But not necessarily, like, just because you post a thirst trap does not mean that you're not looking for a deeper connection. Like, just because that's what your social media depicts of you, that doesn't mean that's a thing. But obviously not everybody accepts that. Those kinds of people don't really want somebody who's gonna post it out for everyone. And I've definitely been in relationships like that, where they just didn't even want me, like I said in my first episode, this guy didn't even want me to wear a dress without calling me a whore. Like, there are guys out there who are so picky, there are girls out there who are so picky, who are so controlling, who want you to be this way and that way and never think about what you really want. So I really think that I'm on pro thirst traps. First of all, I like seeing them myself. I love it when I see a girl in her bikini and she's just like, look at my body, it's damn good, and it is. I love seeing that. I think that is so empowering and so much strength, and I love the confidence that comes with it. But that doesn't mean, like I said, that these girls or boys aren't insecure. Like, everybody has their own internal battles that they face, so it's very cognitive of you to really keep that in mind. What could be the deeper meaning to thirst traps? Well, the deeper meaning is that it's a thirst trap. There's really no meaning to them. Like, they're just there for lust and likes. Like, that's kind of all that thirst traps really are. They're not in it for anything deeper other than a good post on social media. That's really what they are. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. I wouldn't think about it as thirst trapping is such a bad thing. Let's be real. Most people watch porn. Like I said in my Sex is a Sin podcast, I don't remember what the percentage was. I'm sure if I flipped the pages on this little book in front of me, I could find it, but I don't want to. But I'm pretty sure it was a high number. I'm pretty sure it was like 90% or something like that. But it was definitely really up there that many Americans watch porn. It's a thing. So in conclusion to all of this, I think that it's really important to know, like, what kind of trouble you're getting into when you post thirst traps. Like, know that there are gonna be guys who are gonna post on your pictures. They're gonna comment. They're gonna slide into your DMs, Guys will really do anything to get a girl's attention, I feel like, these days. It's really hard to avoid those kinds of guys. Look at the girl who sold bathwater, for example. Do you know how many guys bought her bathwater? And I'm just like, that is so cringy, but at the same time, it's so genius, because do you know how much money that she made off of that? Keep that in mind, that you might even be slut shamed, but it's more for confidence. And post your thirst traps, honestly. Like, that's really what I want you to do. Quit worrying and embrace those thirst traps, because ultimately I want you guys to love yourselves and appreciate your bodies. And if you posting thirst traps is going to do that, then definitely do that. Keep in mind that people are going to be more inclined to judge you for that. They're going to slut shame you, like I said, and you're just going to have to remember that you may even come across a very obsessive person, and you might have to block them or get restraining orders. I have seen that with my mother. My mother had a stalker, basically. He'd make new accounts, he would follow her, he would find her on Facebook, he somehow got her number. It was really, really creepy. So definitely be careful with the kinds of content that you're posting out there, because you never know who's watching. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into my life. So I'm recording this on Wednesday. I'm still wearing pink, but it's the Wednesday that I posted episode 7. So yeah, I thought that it would be more efficient for my time to be able to post this a little bit sooner than Sunday or something, because I didn't, not even post this, record this in general, because I didn't want to get there I didn't want to get to Florida and then like worry, because I've been so consistent now for 8 times of posting new content for you guys no matter what, and I definitely wanted to keep that consistency, so I definitely wanted to record this prior to it, and I figured what better day than Wednesday, because tomorrow plans, that was kind of like my end goal for this. I can't believe that I'm in Florida. I thought that this day would never happen. I'm actually kind of freaking out as of today, because I'm meeting his family for the first time, and I can say that the only family I've ever met with the guy that I like, it was not good. It was not good. They didn't like me. Well, they liked me at first for a little bit, and then they didn't like me. They were like, no. And so I'm definitely like, oh man, freaking out right now. But I've been wanting to tell you guys this news. I just haven't done it. I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. As always, be safe, be happy, and be loved. XOXO Jas.